for the team. And I love defenders. Like, that's Martin Keown. That's Todd.
1 week on and some Hammers are still pinching themselves. They won, they scored, the manager was happy, almost unusual. Back-to-back wins would have been really nice, but Arsenal, unless you're playing them at their place, have been in lethal form.
It's a typical and a glorious Gunners goal.
Our commentator at Upton Park, John Mox.
Alan Pardew goes for a 4-5-1 formation, hoping to press Arsenal in key areas. Paul Konchesky returns after suspension at left back, and Lee Bowyer comes in with instructions to support the lone striker Bobby Zamora. That means that Teddy Sheringham, who scored against Blackburn last week, is on the bench, along with Carlos Tevez. After missing chances aplenty in the Champions League on Wednesday, Arsenal are unchanged. Justin Hoyt at right back is the only Englishman in the 16, and Arsenal won't have forgotten that it was West Ham who were the last team to beat them at Highbury before the old stadium closed. Konchesky to Rio Coker, the West Ham captain, into Zamora. He's the focal point. Benayoun. Spector's outside him. Bit tight for him, but he'll get in the other side of Clichy. Zamora's come near post. Clichy concedes the corner. Now, a corner really played off here last week for West Ham against Blackburn. It came from this side. This time it's short to Benayoun. It's come back to Etherington. Oh, surely no! Just the touch was required for Bobby Zamora, who's hunting his 100th league goal. And from that corner by Etherington, he nearly got it. Played short initially. Oh, he was stretching. Kleb. Henry with his arm up in the centre. That's where it's going. He's got a bit of space here, Henry. Van Persie! Good save, Robert Green. Well, Green, who blamed himself for the late Blackburn goal last week that prevented a clean sheet. He made some fine saves in that match, and that's another one. It's Guy Fawkes Day, and this fixture has got a history of fireworks in the past. It was here that Patrick Vieira was banned for 6 games after a spitting incident with Neil Ruddock back in 1999. That was the last time West Ham beat Arsenal at Upton Park. Tisleb, Henry, Van Persie, intricate, Fabregas, perhaps a bit too elaborate. Not the first time Arsenal will have heard that said. This is Sleb. But they won't change. It's Rosicki! That's not elaborate at all. That's direct. He perhaps owes them a goal after one of those glaring misses on Wednesday. Thomas Rosicki got his shot in early there. Konchesky. Bowyer. Now Spector in attack. A goal kick is given by the assistant referee. That's Glenn Turner on the near side, the World Cup official. What a poor kick that was by Jens Lehmann. This is Benayoun, and they're queuing up in the middle. West Ham here. It's Zamora on the ball. 5 others are with him. Spector. Oh, near post. Benayoun. Well, Lehmann somewhat careless with the clearance, which is not like him actually. His distribution's usually good, and West Ham here had plenty of players in the middle. Benayoun made the run to the near post, couldn't guide the header across the goalkeeper. Here's Henry. Oh, he's got Rosicki in here for Arsenal, real chance. And at the moment, his finishing is all over the place. Henry applauds, it was his pass. And a delightful touch from Henry, in fact, but Rosicki, well, it's some distance away, isn't it? Ferdinand's in trouble. He's signalling to the bench as the play develops. They can't get the West Ham physio on until the ball goes out of play. It has now. It's Ferdinand who's still struggling. In fact, Arsenal have got a man down as well. Now, was something thrown from the crowd at Van Persie? We had the incident yesterday at Fulham with Klaus Jensen, and I'm sad to say it's happened again at Upton Park. A 2-pence piece, we're told. It's Konchesky, this is Zamora. Oh, and he's got Hayden Mullins in here. Zamora again. Now it's Bowyer. Benayoun is wider. Bowyer again. The tackle by Gallas. Well, Bowyer is complaining, but Gallas took the ball very cleanly. Now, well, I have to say, seeing it a second time, Bowyer's got a case. Well, Teddy Sheringham, who became the oldest Premiership goal scorer last week, gets another chance here to make an impact. Bobby Zamora has run himself into the ground. He had a stomach upset overnight. He's one of those to go off, and Lee Bowyer is the other one. West Ham are, well, trying to force Arsenal wide, but they've got 5 or 6 defenders very deep on their own 18-yard line here. This is Hoyt. And so Arsenal get a bit of room. It's Hleb now. And Henry, Hleb again. He's gone down in the penalty area after a challenge. He was going for the return puck. Ooh, now then. What about that? Well, Lee Bowyer thought he had a case for a penalty earlier against Gallas. I'll tell you what, that looks like a very big claim for Arsenal and Hleb against Spectre. So if you're talking about unsuccessful penalty appeals here today, it's 1-1. This is Gavidon. Careful clearance by Green, onto Benayoun, then Sheringham. Oh, Marlon Harewood is onside! A real chance for West Ham! Lehman's out, and he's made the save! And Harewood can't get there for the second opportunity. Goalkeeper rescues Arsenal. And Marlon Harewood with what may be seen to be West Ham's best chance. But Jens Lehmann, what a good piece of goalkeeping. The way he half came and then stood up. Gilberto. Toure. Oh, he's cracked that! Oh, it's the side netting. This is the centre half from what, 30 yards? And that's bending and just wide. Hit the pole at the back of the goal. Oh, I tell you what, that's mighty close from Toure. This is Rosicki. Oh, Henry's looking threatening here. He's outpaced them, and he's got a great... Oh! Well, the pullback. It went behind the 2 players coming in. But here's a buoy. And there's the shot by Adebayor. And the chance goes for Arsenal. Well, you'd almost want to say that neither side deserves to lose. This is Mullins. Well, there's been a lot said about morale and mystery at West Ham this season, but there's not much wrong with the performance today, or indeed the relationship with the crowd. This is Gilberto. But Arsenal can still threaten. Konchesky intercepting there. Now Etherington. And again, he's got Sheringham just inside him. And it's Etherington again, and Benayoun's coming in, and so too was Harewood! And West Ham scored! Marlon Harewood! In the 89th minute! Oh, West Ham's season has suddenly turned! Oh dear me, there's something going on down there between Alan Pardew and Arsene Wenger. Tempers flaring on the touchline, and they were almost pushing each other there. A real dramatic finish here. Arsenal got a bit caught out on their right flank. Etherington played it inside. Lovely return by Sheringham, and look at Harewood. He finishes that ahead of the defender. It's a really good move, and Sheringham's intelligence plays a part as well. Good early ball, Etherington, and Harewood got ahead of his marker. Marlon Harewood there got a yellow card for over-celebrating. Sheringham. Rio Coca. Here's Harewood again. Well, he had one save by Lehmann soon after he came on. He scored what may be the winning goal, and look, it's still going on down there. Well, there was a little bit said between these two managers a year ago, which I thought had been patched up, but they don't look the best of friends at the moment. Konchesky down the line to Harewood. They probably take this. Oh, they're going to get a throw anyway. Looking at the watch, Alan Pardew points and says the 3 minutes are up. It's a goal kick. Now then, we're in the 4th minute now of stoppage time. I don't think Rob Starks can find much more. That's Gabidon. And Alan Pardew is still pointing to his watch, and that's it. It's 2 wins in a row for West Ham. It's a big lump. Oh, and is there a refusal to shake hands there by Wenger? It looked to me as though Pardew put his hand out and it wasn't taken. And the story of this match is the story. Oh, look at there. There's a pushing and shoving on the field. Fabregas, Harewood. It's still going on. And I'm not sure. Well, I don't know whether he's pulling him back to avoid him getting involved with somebody else. I don't know if Rob Stiles has clocked this. There's all sorts going on as the managers leave the pitch and the players leave the pitch. Well, somebody in the match report is going to have to piece all this together. Look at Wenger. I've never seen him as furious as this.
So who would have thought it? Pardew and Wenger almost coming to blows on the touchline. Clearly, we needed some explanations on this. Unfortunately, Arsenal, or Wenger specifically, just took his bat home. Arsenal did not speak to anybody after the end of this game. So all we can give you is the West Ham side of the story, I'm afraid. So here it is.
We're working in an emotional game, Alan.
Yes.
There's a situation there that happened. Can you talk us through it? What happened?
With me and Arsene, you're talking about? Yeah, I mean, perhaps I was overzealous in my celebration. I apologise to him fully on that. But, you know, it's been a frustration season here. A last-minute goal, desperate to win. And, I have absolute massive respect for Arsene Wenger. I shall try and find him, and hopefully he's calmed down, because I would be a bit annoyed if I'd lost here, if I was him, and see if I can sort that out with him, because I don't want that situation. It's not right for the game. But on my part, I do apologise if I was overzealous, but, the whole thing was spoiled, and I hope it doesn't get the headlines from what was a players' day. The West Ham players, who were brilliant. Great win for us today.
To be fair to you in the situation, you did off the end of the game.
I did, and, last-minute goals, horrible for managers, and, I've got no problem with Arsene. I will try and find him again, and hopefully we're all calm down and be sensible about it.
Did you think when you came on and you got a chance that West Ham had missed the opportunity?
Well, when I went through, of God, it just looked like Lands was massive, but then he saved it, and I thought, oh my God, and then obviously I got another chance to put it in, and I was thankful they went in, because the boys worked so hard.
It looked at one stage as though the tackle on Haleb was a penalty. What did you think?
Well, Arsene Wenger had certainly thought it was a penalty, I think, and that frustrated him. On my part, I could see it was from behind the challenge, but I did think he got a little bit of the ball by the reaction of the other players. I think when it's a penalty, and our players kind of reacted in a way that it wasn't, so I just went off that reaction and we played on.
What's the mood in the dressing room at the moment?
What do you think? Good. And we just have to keep it going really now, and we've got another game in Middlesbrough away, and we've got to keep that run going. Even
in the midst of the takeover, as it's perhaps imminent, whether one way or the other, we've produced that performance. So it's a great fillip for this club, and the fans will go, I'm very, very happy tonight.
It's Garth Crooks with the question. They simply couldn't believe
well, the thing
it.
Is, I was happy. Talking about some of the pressure he's been under recently. That is Arsenal they're beating.
And then we see, this is the one bit of fist pumping. We think, we've frozen it here. You'll see in a second. He turns around, here we are. There we go. It's a bit of the Bruce Forsyth about it, but we believe that he's doing that fist pump straight in Wenger's direction.
And I think what happens is, when you run it on, is that he says, why? Why? What have I done?
That, I think, is too much.
You know what I mean? And then, now Wenger's not happy. Look, he's told him
to touch him and to say something. It's not.
Okay. I mean, it's a massive win, though. It's the last minute of a game against one of the best sides in Europe. Of course you're going mad.
The thing about it is, Charles, is that Alan Pardew, I know him really well. He's a passionate guy. He's under pressure, and he's beating Arsenal. There's nothing wrong with that.
He's tried to apologise.
And after the incident, they seem to have chummed up a little bit. No handshake here, though. And then at the final whistle, as we'll see. Now, why does Arsene Wenger do this? Whatever has happened, he is always going to look ludicrous, refusing to shake somebody's hand. Just shake his hand and abuse him, but shake his hand at least.
Pat Rice doesn't want to shake it as well. He was like... But I think the emotion...
Forever.
We've talked about this for a long time.
You have
I think the actual... The referee, if you see the referee's position, as the ball comes into Kleb, he plays a great 1-2 with Thierry Henry. It's a great move. The defender goes back to make the tackle. Now, from there, he's just going to touch it just past him, and it looks like a penalty. He's got to give that as a penalty. That is a stonewall penalty when you see it in fast motion. If you see the defender just gets a touch on the ball. Now, does that touch warrant saying it's a proper tackle? Now, I think the referee can't possibly see that he's touched that on the end of his toe, and he should give a penalty.
I'll tell you what's the most frustrating thing about that as well, is if you watch Rob Stiles afterwards, he was acting like, get on with it.
Before the game about Fabregas being the key, this is what he can do to you. Just sitting in that hole ahead of his midfield players, picks the ball up, turns, great ball to Henry, Zicki makes the run, and he should score, make it 1-0. That's what Fabregas can do. He's that good. But what they did, they played 3 in midfield. They closed them down. They played really tight, the midfield players for West Ham. Here, Mullins snapping into a tackle on him. Move breaks down. We see again here, Fabregas comes short. He then spins. He eventually gets the ball. Here it comes again. I think it's Mullins again who makes the tackle, snaps in. No space for him to make the pass. 3 midfield players, really narrow, closing down the ball. Mullins makes the foul in the end. Again, this time it's midfield players, how close they are. Snapping away all the time. No space for them to play. In the end, Kleb has to go backwards. Fabregas gets the ball again. Mullins not let him out of his sight. Another tackle. Now, this is what Arsenal get in this position, their midfield players all the time, and like a diamond. Fabregas wants the ball from the defender, but because they're so narrow, the West Ham players, there's no room in between to get that ball to him. In the end, he's got no ball, only has to hit it over the top to Henry. It's not a bad ball, but it's a long ball, and Fabregas is the key to how they play in that system.
Okay.
It's not even that, but when I've watched Thierry for a lot, you know what I mean? He's a player, I love him, I think he's brilliant. But it's certain times when he's starting games in his mood in the tunnel. Now, his mood was he's jolly, he was jovial and everything, and you can see he started like that. He started with no urgency, no intensity, no focus. He didn't seem like he was right at it. Now, this one here, this is a good ball into him. You'd think, right, lay that just off to your man in front of you. He's got 3 men around him, and he's going to try something, but I don't even know what he's going to try. And that's not like Thierry. He just seemed indecisive, and he didn't seem right. He didn't seem up for it. This is Thierry when he's up for it. He's taking on players. It doesn't matter how many players there. He's cut inside. He's had a shot. And Anton Fernand's done well to block it, got injured doing it. But this is another one. This is unfortunate for Fabregas because it looks like he's played a bad pass. But what's happened is Thierry's coming towards the ball here. And so when Fabregas looks up, he sees Thierry coming, and then all of a sudden he's gone the other way. This is the kind of indecisive kind of play Thierry was doing today. And this is another one. This is a great chance for Thierry Henry. Now, if you look, he's come off of Anton Ferdinand brilliantly. Anton Ferdinand's out of the game. And you're thinking now this is going to come into him, he's just going to let it come across his left foot and slot it in. But watch what happens. Bang, comes off his... When did you see that happen with Thierry Henry? You know, and it just seems like it's not with him. And look, eyebrow says it all. Look at this.